All right, we have some breaking news to get to here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. George Kittle, as revealed by Kyle Shanahan during his press conference just moments ago, did suffer a groin injury. His status for Week 1 against the Chicago Bears on Sunday, unknown. And then also at the tail end of the show, Kyle Shanahan during that same press conference, revealing the 49ers 16 captains for the 2022 season. But obviously the news of note today is this injury to George Kittle. It's a groin issue. He suffered it on Monday during practice. As of right now, he is day-to-day ahead of the Niners season opener on the road in Chicago at Soldier Field. He was expected to do something at practice yesterday, wasn't able to, and he's also not practicing today. And obviously, this is problematic for a plethora of reasons. George Kittle, the best all-around tight end in the NFL, as we'll talk about coming up, and he's also suffered a lot of injuries throughout his career. So the good with George Kittle, he's phenomenal as a blocker, as a guy who can pick up yards after the catch, as an all-around dynamic tight end. Some of the bad, though, these injuries have reared its head over the last couple of years. Here's the direct quote from Shanahan. Not sure what happened. I was hoping that he'd be good today. He did a little bit on Monday, not feeling good today. We'll have to see. Right now, he is day-to-day. And going back to those aforementioned George Kittle injury issues, he came into the league out of Iowa. 2017, he played 15 games. 2018 is really where he solidified himself as one of the best, most dynamic and physical threats at that position. Played 16 games. He was absolutely phenomenal. 2019, missed a couple of games because of injury. 2020 was the big one. Only played 8 outings there. And then last year, missed a couple of games because of some nagging injuries to his calf muscle. Before we continue to break this down, and don't forget, team captains coming up here down the road. Are you concerned about the George Kittle injury news, considering what it means for Trey Lance making his first start as the full-time starter for this football team? Want to hear from you in the comment section. Show off that football acumen. C for concerned and W for not worried. Now, for a young quarterback and for Trey Lance, sometimes that tight end position can be a young quarterback's best friend. You can hit him on those seam routes. Also, George Kittle is fantastic as a blocker to get that ground game going. This offensive line for San Francisco, a massive question mark. So George Kittle can be flanked to a Trent Williams, flanked next to Mike McGlinchey to offer you support there. He's also phenomenal at picking up yards after the catch, and Trey Lance can complete some of those layups to a player like George Kittle in the seam, out wide, over the middle, and pick up yards after the catch to really go from an offense being stagnant to an offense matriculating the ball downfield. And George Kittle, in my opinion, is the best all-around tight end in the National Football League. Now that Robert Gronkowski is retired, George Kittle is the best blocker. He's up there among some of the best pass-catching tight ends in the NFL. Travis Kelce probably has the edge there, but then picking up yards after the catch and just bringing that brute force to that tight end position is what makes George Kittle special. That's why he signed that big contract a couple of years ago. And you take a look at the numbers, right? 2018 is when he really burst onto the scene. 88 grabs, nearly 1,400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 15 and a half yards per catch. 2019, able to duplicate it to a certain degree. 85 catches, still was able to surpass that 1,000-yard threshold. Once again, 5 touchdowns. 2020, the number's down, but he played half the season and still had 48 catches for 634 yards. And then last year, if you remember, when the Niners offense with Jimmy Garoppolo was a little bit stagnant and they had grown a little bit stale, Kittle went on that torrid stretch against the Cincinnati Bengals, a couple of other opponents too, in which he really flashed, and he was able to really keep that Niners offense with its head above water, and that's the impact that George Kittle is able to bring to this offense and the utilization of him in Kyle Shanahan's scheme and just the special player that he is. Still a lot left to get to on the show. First, though, with the Niners taking on the Bears on Sunday from Soldier Field, of course we'll be doing a watch party for it right here on the channel. Make sure you subscribe and lock us in, though, youtube.com/49erstv, and make sure you turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do go live for our watch party, you'll get that push notification. But also, me and the homie Harrison Graham having a little bit of a competition with what channel can pick up the most subscribers prior to week 1. We have the slight edge in that battle, and in terms of total subscribers, obviously, 49ers Report, a little bit of a bigger channel, even though he's killing things over there. Let's take down the Bears on the field in between the lines and inside the walls here at Chat Sports. Just hit that red sub button down below for daily free videos on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, according to some reports out there, Kyle Shanahan not really sure how this injury happened, but the injury supposedly happened during Monday practice. And this fits along a theme that we've seen with this football team this offseason. Anytime that they have a couple of off days, some of these soft tissue injuries do occur. A lot of hamstring injuries have occurred throughout the preseason as well as training camp, and they've all transpired after a couple of off days from practices. And it looks as though potentially that may be the case once again. And another reminder, unsure if this injury will keep George Kittle out week 1. Let's just take a look at the timeline here and rack our brains a little bit. The injury happened on Monday. It is now Wednesday. Niners play on Sunday, but you never want to push it with some of these injuries like a groin strain, because if you make it worse, George Kittle can go from being out for 1 game to maybe being out at least a month. So something to certainly monitor there, keep our eyes on, and whatever transpires, whatever happens, of course, we'll be sure to let you know. With the season here, it is time to get geared up, swagged out with some really fresh 49ers gear. And let me just say it real quick. San Francisco. Get your shirts right now by heading to chatsports.com/SF. Last year during the playoff run, we were sending these out all across the globe, across the Atlantic Ocean to places like England, across the Pacific Ocean to the land down under. G'day, mate. Shout out to all the Aussie 49ers fans. So, hey, get your shirts now, chatsports.com/SF. I'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. And, of course, when the Niners get to pay dirt and they score a tutty, yeah, the chant comes out, San Francisco. Hop on board the movement. Now we shift gears to Kyle Shanahan naming team captains. And a lot of people are going to lose their minds about this because there's one player in particular who is not among the 6 captains for the 2022 season. Who are the captains? Here you go right here. Producer Coop is on it. Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward. Easy to see why those 3 players are 3 of the 6 captains. And then we move forward. Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, George Kittle. All of these players are veterans. All of these players are among the tops at their respective positions in the NFL. All of these players have been able to garner respect within that San Francisco locker room. These are established vets. And the theme here, not a lot of young guys as a 49ers team captain. That, of course, includes the quarterback in Trey Lance. Cue up the drama here. Matt Barrows with this tweet. Shanahan said that Trey Lance had the 7th most votes and Deebo Samuel had the 8th most. Said he had no problem with a young quarterback not being named a captain. Quote from Kyle Shanahan, "I always look at the final tally. I could cheat if I wanted to." Now, it would certainly be ideal if Trey Lance was named a captain. I think it would do wonders for his confidence. He would understand that a lot of people have his back. A lot of people support him inside that locker room and within this organization. He narrowly missed out on being a team captain. Now, Justin Fields was named a team captain for the Chicago Bears, but he played a lot last year. Trey Lance only played 2 games. So maybe it comes down to the lack of reps and lack of snaps for Trey Lance. I'm not going to make too much drama out of him not wearing that C on his chest. But with Jimmy Garoppolo back, breathing down his neck in the shadows of Trey Lance, yeah, it is a little bit of some dramatics. Before we hop on out of here, want to hear from you once more down below in the comment section. Do you think it's concerning that Lance is not a team captain? Embrace debate. Let your feelings be known. Sound off down below by giving me a Y for yes or an N for no.